So like I was saying, my collection, it's not super impressive. I mean, it doesn't span too many closets, but yeah, it's...
We don't want to hear about your fucking dildos, Micah.
You're really gonna hate my topic then.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Isn't It Obvious, where we certainly are not talking about dildos unless we do, don't rule it out. My topic. Isn't it obvious? Isn't it obvious that hypocrisy should be a crime?
No.
Oof.
Nope. Because
Not
is guilty.
not casual hypocrisy. Not like don't eat a cookie and then eat a cookie.
Do as I say, not as I do.
But like grotesque hypocrisy. Like a lot of child molesters saying that pedophiles are the worst when they themselves are child molesters.
Yeah. I always
like the hidden, like Catholic Church.
Yeah.
We should, or like Catholics, or who was the senator from Utah that was busted in the Minneapolis airport?
Hell if I know.
Yeah, he was super firebrand anti-gay, and he just loved railing dudes in airport bathrooms.
Wasn't there
like that hypocrisy should be a crime.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it could be a crime modifier. Like if you
it's a modifier, like a hate crime.
Yeah, like hate crimes are there because despite the wonderful South Park episode about hate crimes.
Doesn't this employer kill his boss because he hates him? Isn't that a hate crime?
Doesn't the man who vandalized a building hate the building? So isn't that a hate crime? And like, you say what you want about it. It does make sense for the people to punish those that do hate crimes more than others, simply because it means that they're far more dangerous. Because like
right, when you are isolating a minority or something to specifically do your crime, then that is more dangerous for that minority. Thus, you should be removed from society for a greater time.
Question though, is it worse? Like, is it actually worse? Not like objectively. Like, if you're looking at a crime objectively, is it worse to
just list a crime?
So okay, we'll say.
Is there all hypothetical anyway?
Okay, we'll say sodomy, whatever.
Because sodomy is a crime.
It is actually.
We're in Arkansas now.
And Texas.
Actually, isn't I thought
anything south of the Mason-Dixon line?
That's going to kill your nanny career.
Okay, it's
isn't.
been a few years, so the laws may have changed, but I could have sworn sodomy was a crime in Minnesota.
Oh yeah. No.
No, I think it was. Back when I was in college, I took.
But it's one of those
classes,
like.
And it was. There was.
But I think that's a crime where it's like the wire cutters in your back pocket are a capital offense in Texas.
Well, yeah, it's not enforced. No one cares.
It's just on the books
but
because
it is on the books.
I do have another topic
as
that
well
we need to clean up our laws.
Yes,
I mean there was also like a don't fuck fish in the law. There was a bestiality clause.
You do not get between me and my walleyes, okay?
Anyway,
when they're above water.
Can I just interject?
Glowy eyes.
I just want to say,
sorry.
Our wonderful President George W. Bush said that humans and fish can coexist. I just want to add that in there when we have the fornication of fish laws. All right.
Back to the question I was trying to not really. I'm not formulating this very well. But,
do you just really want to let us know that you want to fuck fish?
That's clearly what I was trying to get at. No. Let's go with. I just need a crime.
Murder?
Murder. Well, no, that's not gonna work.
Petty theft.
Pedophilia.
Vandalism.
Let's go with.
Grand Theft Auto.
Let's go with petty.
Grand Theft Auto, but only Fords?
Let's go with theft. All right.
Petty theft.
Let's go with theft. Let's go with theft. All right. In our example, we'll go with theft. You're like, we'll just say you're the treasurer of some governmental body. Maybe like you're the treasurer on the board of whatever in your little town.
Mm-hmm.
You're Steve Mnuchin.
And you have very high opinions of people who shoplift, but
high opinion. You like shoplifters?
No, you condemn them. You vocally condemn them. And people know you're very much against shoplifters.
Okay, yeah. Shoplifters should have the book thrown at them.
Yeah, yep, right.
If you allow this, it's a slippery slope down to
blah. And they're pounding that message home, right? Like a Navy. Inside joke from previous conversations.
You won't get it. It's fine. Just start saying that randomly. Let's see if it takes off. Hashtag in the Navy.
Right. So this fictional person, whatever, is really a proponent of punishing people who do petty theft. But on the off hours he's embezzling funds from the city and is committing like greater theft crimes. Is it worse? Is his crime worse because he was so vocal about condemning petty theft?
No,
or is it exactly the same?
No, his crime is objectively worse because of the source of which.
But
worse.
My counter. Does his words?
My counter is, if he is a man who speaks out against petty theft and shoplifting, and he is himself caught shoplifting, does his crime seem worse in that situation, since he in a public space has decried and condemned that, but yet stole a Twinkie?
But is it worse? Is it actually worse?
Yes.
It's not.
It is.
It's literally the same crime. How is it worse?
Because he adamantly spoke against it as in the political sphere.
But that doesn't change anything about the crime. Ultimately.
No, it's a modifying crime. It is a modifier. It should be along the lines of a hate crime, just so people fucking hold their tongue in a public space more and think about what they say.
Yeah, I don't...
Because hypocrisy is fucking absurd.
I mean, it is.
0 Republicans voting for the COVID relief bill, and then
taking credit
all
for
of those
it?
same Republicans spending money on ads in their districts saying, this COVID relief bill is great, right? Thank me. Like, that kind of fucking hypocrisy is ridiculous. And should be actually punished. Because it's wrong.
I mean, it is wrong.
I mean, I get it. Americans are stupid. And I'll be the first one to say it. That's a stupid American. But you're slapping me and pointing at someone behind me, and I turn around and there's no one behind me. Then I turn back around to face you, and then you slap me.
And then he asks you, why are you hitting yourself? And you're like, I'm fucking not! I'm not, you asshole! Stop hitting me!
That's the shit I'm talking about. Like, that shit should be a modifier for any crime that can be associated with it, if in a public space.
But okay, so if he gets caught shoplifting, does he deserve a worse punishment?
Yes.
In this instance than your typical shoplifter?
Mm-hmm. Like, there's no...
How much worse?
It should be whatever the maximum is, without any bit of leniency.
Parole or condition.
Yeah, it's whatever the maximum punishment, the up to 5 years and $10,000 fine. He gets the 5 years and $10,000 fine.
Okay, but okay, setting aside, this is just devil's advocate.
Or is equal handlers.
Devil's advocate sauce that I'm pouring onto this weird fire. Wouldn't his vocal opposition to this hypothetical shoplifting be a positive, though? Like him decrying.
But that doesn't change the fact that he himself shoplifted.
This is true. Until he got caught, right? But before that, his words were like adamantly shoplifting is bad.
Yeah.
And he was sending a message to
people. And because he said that, and he was caught shoplifting.
And people believed it. Maybe they're like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't shoplift anymore.
That man in a suit that I voted for because he said vote for me, and I liked his smile, said shoplifting is bad.
So I'm not going to shoplift
anymore. And then he shoplifted. But he got the biggest punishment you can have for shoplifting. Shoplifting is bad.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the logic anyone would do.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm about punitive measures at this point. This is America. I'm all about pettiness.
See,
we're not going to have good sweeping actual changes until the next Civil War comes.
Yeah, well, I'm also of the opinion as a person who actually went to school for, legal and criminal justice and psychology and all that jazz. I don't really think punishment is super helpful.
It's meant to be a deterrent.
It's meant to be.
Mm-hmm. And in some cases, it kind of is.
It doesn't really work. It works
because we have for-profit prisons, so now we make rules that put people in jail. It's not actually punishment. It's a matter of getting government money.
It's not just that. Because you're, like, for serious crimes, yes, that is the case. But for, like, petty crimes that you don't end up going to jail for, you just end up doing community service, or you pay a fine, like speeding tickets or shoplifting. Mm-hmm. Generally, you don't go to jail for that.
Sure.
Unless you are held in contempt or something. But
right.
I don't think the punishments aren't a deterrent.
But if said public official who decried shoplifting, got busted shoplifting, had to do 2,000 hours community service, and that was publicized and spread, would that not also act as a deterrent? Because, even this public official who's meant to be our paragon of what it means to be a citizen
the people who
is doing this punishment for the crime that he decried.
Yeah, no, the people who shoplift and do these petty theft things, they aren't doing it because
that's why shoplifting is bad, because that's like a weird socioeconomic thing. Sometimes you just need to shoplift because shit's too expensive.
Or you do it because it's fun. Or you do it because you're like, let's see how much I can screw this company. Or
the sheer sexual thrill.
Well, whatever.
Look at the show notes for Winona Ryder, folks.
Yeah, she had everything.
Yeah.
She just stole to feel alive.
Yeah.
Because she'd been acting since like 8 and she wasn't really a person.
Yeah, well, it's just like that. So there's different...
But I don't know if she ever spoke out against shoplifting.
There's different motives.
If she did, then she should have had a more severe punishment.
There's different motives for different crimes. And I don't think... I'm just...
But publicly speaking out against them and then doing said crime should have more of a punishment.
I agree.
Because you were acting from a moral high ground, saying that this crime X is wrong. Nobody should do it because of these punishments. Fine. Then I go and do said crime. I should face more strict punishment.
Well, it feels worse, but I don't know if it actually is worse.
I agree with that for the ordinary civilian that just has to live through life and gets pooped on in society because they don't have a power.
We don't have actual sponsors. You can just say shat on.
They get shat on because
Phil, watch it out.
Oh, damn it, Micah.
Only I'm allowed to swear.
Damn fucking right.
I feel like this is hypocrisy in action.
Oh, you caught on to my point, Phil.
God.
So here's my thought, is that we love to have these sort of like rules for you guys, but not rules for me. And the Texas one that really kind of makes me laugh the most is rules for Planned Parenthood sort of thing, where now it's a felony if you help somebody get an abortion after like 4 weeks when you're 4 weeks of pregnancy, which is...
I think it's down to like a day. You have to know a day when that zygote is growing that you can have it aborted. Beyond that, because that's the minimum under Roe.
I believe it's 23 hours and 59 minutes because...
I think it's like 12 hours.
Well...
How much?
It's actually right after intercourse.
How much do we hate Texas? How much do we hate Texas?
Well, we hate Texas as much as we hate Minnesota, which is a lot.
But
I love Minnesota.
Okay, hold on.
I hate Minnesota.
Legitimate sidebar. Can we just have, like, they already have ERCOT. Or ERCOT, whatever it is. They're on their own power grid. Can we just have them be their own country and see how long it takes for them to collapse? Because they really want to be their own country, but they absolutely cannot sustain themselves in any way, shape, or form.
I mean, well,
granted, their immigration will go down because, everyone from Central America, like, we're running from drug gangs and authoritarian, but fuck Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Mexico, how's it going?
All things aside from why I dislike Minnesota and Texas is for opposite reasons.
The fact it's the same temperature.
Yeah. The problem I have with Texas is that they talk a mean game, but they really don't carry through. So the whole idea of like hypocrisy is, we're going to have a better electrical grid system than the rest of the country. The regulations are holding us back. And then later on, it's like, insert sad trombone, sounds here. And it's like, oh wait, people like apparently like regulation. They like the fact that they can have power in the winter and AC in the summer. And they would like to join the rest of the country. And to me, it makes me kind of...
Reinforcements from the society of the country they're supposed to be a part of.
It makes me feel
Which
good
is what the point of countries are.
In two ways. One, it's like, thank God 49 other states are not Texas.
I mean,
right? It's not like Hawaii or Alaska is on the same power grid.
But they're not that stupid, right? Like, I don't think Alaska and Hawaii is going to be in a situation where they're like, would have saw that coming, even though we saw that 10 years ago. Like, maybe they are.
But here's the thing is, there's more consequences. Like, people in Hawaii and Alaska are so far removed that they have to consider what ifs of bad situations.
A gallon of milk in Hawaii is $10 because of you can't have cows.
Well, right. And let's be honest, Alaska is is a hellhole. Like, it's so far up there. And
it's not a hellhole. It's a frozen hellscape.
The same thing, right? You're right.
No.
You're right.
Hellhole is Texas.
Okay, yeah.
We've established.
Okay, all right.
Frozen hellscape.
Whatever.
Alaska.
Then sweaty ball hell is Louisiana.
It's cold. It's dark. There's but if you want to live up there,
all of nature wants to kill you, even the environment.
Yes, Alaska.
So
wonderful.
So you gotta think
very
ahead.
Pretty.
If you're gonna survive up there, you gotta think ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Texas, you don't. You really don't have to think that far ahead.
You do.
You should.
No, you do, because you still have 6 months of the year that are like 85 degrees plus.
True, but you don't.
And no oceans.
But they don't. They're not planning for these big freezes that we had.
It wasn't a big freeze. It was like 5 days of 34 degrees.
Yeah, but that's colder than what they normally experience, and they're not built to handle those temperatures.
It's like whenever an eighth of an inch falls in Atlanta and that whole city shuts
down. Yeah, it's a freaking snow emergency for half an inch of snow, and you're just like, Jesus, what?
You're driving a truck!
Okay, I can understand the argument that like they didn't get, they weren't prepared.
Sorry, what?
I can understand the argument that they weren't prepared because it was something they didn't see coming, except for they had it 10 years ago and all the other stuff.
Also, recently, ERCOT said, due to the high heat wave, people should not use their ACs because it's straining our electrical grid.
Right.
They're dealing with it now.
Yeah, it's like mitigation's concerned about risk. Like, I think you nailed it on the head. Alaska and Hawaii have to worry about this because to them it's life and death.
Yes.
Right? So they have to build and spend more money to mitigate risks that occur. Texas hooking up to the national grid line so that they can get power is not that risky. The only thing that they have to do is actually spend less money to be regulated because they spend more. And so, like, the hypocrisy that makes me laugh.
But to fix all their shit, they're going to pay a lot of money.
Well, now
because their shit was so out of dated that that's why they made ERCOT.
But the people, the people,
all the pipes that burst and they aren't covered by their insurance or anything.
It's kind of great.
It's not though, because those people are expecting their government to be doing what
and that's why I want Texas to be its own country, and it fall horribly.
It would.
You're like, if they, what you get, guys?
Well, it is. They did kind of make their own. Half of them made their own fucking.
Oh, less than that. It's so gerrymandered. Well, it's like a third.
Okay, fair enough, but. That is the problem. They just don't care enough to think that far ahead.
So their propaganda has replaced their sense of logic communally as a Texan brain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I blame the Texan people because unlike the gerrymandering that would occur at like a House of Representative or even in their own bicameral state politics, the number one issue is that human Ted Cruz is still a senator there.
Human quotes.
And
well, that's because of the system where he had 6
also,
years and he was
fuck
just
him
reelected.
for abandoning his people in the middle of that crisis several times. Fuck that guy.
I'm gonna wrap this all the way back to Micah's point. Because
there's no means for the populace to remove elected officials.
No, okay.
We don't have a vote of no confidence.
There is a means.
There should be.
Don't elect Ted Cruz. Just don't elect him. That's all you have to do. You don't even have to.
But hold on. How else can you get someone who grows a beard worse than me? Somebody who makes points worse than me? Somebody, god damn it, I could run in Texas, can't I?
You could run in Texas, and
all I have to do is not ride a skateboard and not be in a punk band in the early 90s like Beto O'Rourke, and I win.
Basically, all you have to say is, I like guns, and you'll be better than human Ted Cruz. And this is the whole point of my argument here about Texas. I
have some strong thoughts on the Second Amendment. I can't win in Texas.
Okay, here's the thought, is that we love to call out people's hypocrisy, and human Ted Cruz made the biggest one. He had a tweet from a while back that said something like, do you want Texas to be like California? At that time, California was experiencing brownouts by a company that was owned or operated in Texas. So, yeah, that's hilarious. And he's like, well, obviously California can't get their, governing in control. They can't get their shit together, so come to Texas type of thing, right? And now Texas is like, wait a minute, you guys kind of suck. People died in this snowstorm. People will die in this heat wave. And it's not even a heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
And I look at this like, wow, you're such a big hypocrite, right? Like, human Ted Cruz and human Republican Party of the
hypocrisy are
galling.
Life and death.
And this is a problem with like the whole political landscape that is of Texas, right? Where you have people who have to pay a lot more than people in Minnesota for basic things like heat and electricity, even though in Texas they can easily produce their power much easier than we can, considering that they're an oil baron of all the states.
Yeah.
Like, they should be able to have super cheap electricity almost all the time, and yet they have to pay more. And they have to pay more in an unregulated industry compared to the other 49 states, which makes me laugh.
Well, except their philosophy is so far removed from ours up here in Minnesota. It's like, so, okay. Did I mention that I'm the president of our HOA?
Yes.
I hate my life. I hate everything about it. It's the worst thing in the
Today
world.
was a meeting.
Fucking devil.
But Madam President, don't you like the respect you gain?
No, I hate it. Anyway, so a while back we had trees trimmed in the association, and we'll just say, a historically conservative association. Like, we expect people to pay for their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
There are still Trump 16 banners outside people's
flags.
No, there isn't. We don't allow political flags. Anyway.
Nice.
Yes, the rules,
Nice.
which
Nice.
is nice.
Nice.
But
What is this, Russia?
yeah.
Also, we're Russian.
Now we're Russian. Yeah. So anyway, and this is at war with my personal philosophy, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, as an association, I could just, with the board voting on this, we could just hire a company to come and trim our trees, and then just assess everybody $200 to cover the whole association. Everyone pays $200.
Yep.
But there's a few people who don't have any trees on their property, and so asking them to pay for tree trimming when they don't have trees on their property is hard.
Yes.
Because they're like, why am I not getting? And so they get these gung people who are like, well, I don't need to pay for this because I don't have any trees on my. But they are still benefiting. They are still benefiting from everyone else in the association's properties being upkept, looking nice, and not having trees falling on other people's properties because they're healthy. So in my head, $200 from everybody in the association is way better than asking for someone who has like 5 or 6 or 10 trees on their property who are paying $2,000 to have their trees trimmed or removed or whatever. Like, that person could have had all of that work done for $200.
Yeah.
For everyone, and everyone benefits.
Yes.
And they aren't being assessed like $1,000 and change.
Yes.
At one go, because no one can afford that.
Yes.
So
is that like a similar analogy to people who graduated college and saying we shouldn't cancel student debt because I paid mine off?
Yes, it's exactly the same thing. It's the same thing as fucking Texas saying we're going to handle our own power grids and we're going to have our own little thing and we're going to expect
but we're going to pay a lot more.
We're going to pay a lot more, and people who use it are going to pay a lot more.
Yes.
Than people who don't use it.
And we're also going to all not benefit.
And no one's going to benefit from this.
Because the purpose of the HOA when the editor was part of the board
so annoying.
Was about like making the place nice.
Yep.
And I've seen places that are not nice because there's no governing body, because people need to be grown-ass adults need to be treated like children.
You got to tell people what to do or they're not going to do it.
And if you tell them long enough, you can wear them down. But yes, it's very strange because when you're a child, you think that adults are actually like grown-ups.
No, they're just children.
But they're
children grown tall.
Children that are much bigger.
Hey, as a short person, I refute that.
Okay,
children that are just grown. But they're still not very...
They're grown wide.
They're just not very capable of making decisions that are even for the best benefit of themselves.
Yeah.
Just like children are.
Yep.
So...
It's like the whole universal health care. We're like...
we could all pay? We could all pay in taxes?
So you mean people are going to be forced to be doctors? And they're going to have to do a thing that they're well compensated for as doctors?
Oh, darn.
That's slavery.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Well compensated. Oh, shoot.
You just said well compensated? So, like, they're still going to get like $80,000.
Yeah.
Probably out of college.
Right.
And they just have to work with anyone.
Yep.
Oh, gee, darn. I say, but Minnesota accent.
Ben Shapiro, where's your refute to
Let's
that?
just suppose hypothetically that these doctors are not actually doctors.
Hold on. Let's say
are actually not helping people. They're just keeping them in a pile. And these piles are called our hospitals.
And we're harvesting
you
bodies.
You really got to speak through your nose if you want to be Benny.
Okay, well, I actually haven't heard him speak. I can only see his his arguments in like a nice meme.
Oh my God.
And I had a coworker tell me from Canada. He's like, wow, he's from Montreal and he follows U.S. politics as a hobby. And he's like, wow, this Ben Shapiro.
Which I think that's most of Canadian hobbies.
Like this Ben Shapiro guy talks really fast because his French Canadian, his French I guess is his first language and English is the second. Although I couldn't ever tell until I called him up and his voicemail rang and it was French first. And I was like, this isn't the guy. And then it was English. I was like, oh, that's the guy.
Did you ever test it by saying, I really think Quebec should never be independent?
I did.
And?
It was fucking hilarious. Let me tell you that Canadian politics is a lot more complicated. And
they're not. Quebec just thinks they're different.
No.
Sorry, Quebec.
Anyway, this is the start of the story because I love talking with this guy. Anyway, he was like, Ben Shapiro talks really fast. Holy crap. And I'm like, oh, that guy. And I'm like, look, I know you like American politics, but you need to get him out of your diet. But unfortunately, the news he gets from his channels show him. So it's like, oh God, he's representing America.
No, he's representing conservative America.
Yeah.
But to your point about Texas not doing the right thing and having blatant hypocrisy thrown in their face, I feel like hypocrisy is nature's a wonderful teaching moment.
But it's not. Because Texas has always done this, and you have other states that always do this type of hypocrisy. When going with the abortion case, they make ridiculous rules that are shot down at the federal level, but yet they still enforce those rules. There's no punishment for them doing that bullshit.
Or you would just just legalize abortion and make it safe for people, you would have less of them.
Oh no! If you actually enforced other means of contraception as opposed to just abortion,
that's true.
If you stopped being a stupid Catholic, offense.
Or
offense taken, but offense not taken.
Yeah, if you just stop being a stupid Catholic. Yeah.
Offense taken, but fair enough.
Just give away condoms.
To be honest,
just fucking give away. They're fucking cheap as shit anyway. It's a bit of rubber.
All right.
Okay. Or just take a Walmart bag. That's basically a condom. Sorry, not Walmart bag. There's too many holes.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, no.
No, I would not trust a Walmart bag. Target bags, maybe.
No.
Menard bags, yes.
No.
Ooh,
no.
But hold on.
I'm telling you, no.
There's no feeling in that. You know how thick that plastic is? There's nothing there. I think it's all touch. I'm certainly not having sex when I have, a condom on. Because I really get a whole lot of feeling through the edge of my penis.
What even is this? No.
We're talking about the Navy, and then let's move on. So I just wanted to say that
a pro condom. That's all. It doesn't change the feeling. It's fine. Wrap it up, dudes. Something lazy.
So here's my Navy comment. So yeah, I think that the hypocrisy for the abortion thing is particularly bad because one of the comments that I would see on the Reddit is, oh wow, that means that the politicians are just gonna fly their mistresses out to get their abortions. And it kind of bothered me to be like, oh, these conservative Republicans are voting for the super ridiculous abortion bill, and then they're going to have their wives or daughters or mistresses go and get abortions. But that's against the law according to the way that the bill is written. If you help somebody do that, you're also guilty as well. But they won't.
I didn't help. I forced.
They wouldn't see the light of that crime.
That actually probably would be a defense.
Judge, let me tell you, she wanted to take that baby to term. I said no. There was no assistance at all. I forced her to have that abortion because no way my daughter's having to get out of wedlock.
I mean, it would be a defense for her, but not for you. You'd still go to jail.
Yeah, because...
Absolutely not. Have you seen me? I am the second alderman of Houston's second most whitest district.
That's true. I would say that I would just settle for the crime to even be recognized by the DA, and it probably wouldn't be. So the crime modifier wouldn't even exist because there's no crime to modify. He just gets off scot-free.
God, he didn't assist. It seemed that it was a forced abortion. Wait a minute, is that murder? Let me check the... Nah, I see their loophole.
Yeah, see? Not for Congress people.
It seemed like a weird addition last minute, some amendment by Ted Cruz saying that forcing an abortion is not murder, but somebody willingly having an abortion is. oh, damn these politicians. They're too smart for us.
Well, we never thought that Ted Cruz would have sex. That's the problem. Like, we had just thought that as human Ted Cruz, he would just be a statesman and just be celibate because he's human.
Gross.
Ted Cruz.
But we knew that was... No, Ted Cruz isn't even good enough to be a lizard. He's not. So, no, it's clear that...
He's not the lizard.
I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz is just one of, like, the second generation prototypes of an alien invasion.
Yeah, I was like...
Of, like, this is some, like, alien kid being just like, we have all this technology. Let's try and see if we can make clones of the worst types of people and see if they can get the power. Oh my god, this Ted Cruz is
you know what Ted Cruz is? If we have to use, like, an existing animal that exists on this planet, he's like a tick. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a fucking tick. Which are worse than mosquitoes.
No.
Yes.
Mosquitoes are way worse than ticks.
Mosquitoes are way worse.
Yeah.
Nope.
Do you see the kill-death ratio?
Do you know how malaria is spread?
Not by ticks.
Do you know how Lyme's disease is spread?
By ticks.
Which is more deadly throughout human history, Lyme's disease or malaria?
It's true, but we don't have malaria issues in the United States.
Yeah, because we used a whole shitload of gasoline and poisoned the entire country to kill most of them.
Didn't work. We need to kill all of them. But also, yeah, I agree. Ticks in Minnesota are the devil.
They are.
Oh, yeah. It's always fun to be like, yeah, I got it. You motherfucker.
Right.
Like,
nice try.
Especially if they didn't attach.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you have a dog and you like try and pull it off, you feel so bad.
Yeah.
But you're just like looking at the dog as you're yanking on their ear, like,
so
this
gross.
is for your own good.
I had it one on the mouth of the dog. Because the dog can't get her.
No.
Fucking egg.
Oh, I was hanging out with my brother.
I hate
And
you so much.
he has it's kept, but it's, a lot of natural growth in his backyard, and it's next to a highway, so it's a lot of tick things. And we were just sitting down, and he has a pit bull, so short hair. Like, you should find ticks there, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, there were brown spots. Guess where the ticks were? Fucking brown spots.
Yeah,
And I'm just like scratching an ear, I'm like,
That's a tick.
fucker.
Yeah.
You got another one? Yeah. And he checked again, pulled off another one?
No, ticks are worse than mosquitoes.
Yeah, I agree.
You can
in Minnesota.
They're far more invasive, and because of their like proximity, because you can hear and feel mosquito.
Yeah.
But like ticks are like
so clever.
But you can also wear you can also like or not wear you can like there's things you can do
netting.
Yeah, netting. You can like citronella candles. That shit doesn't work on ticks. Ticks will fucking drop on you. You walk in grass, they're in your socks, they're in your hair.
Yeah, that's why I rub myself with cyanide.
And they just latch on you and they stay there forever.
They don't stay there forever.
I know,
you rip them off, and then like their head stays behind, and you're like,
I hate them so much. I hate them so much.
I'm kind of okay with that because I knew I decapitated you.
And like
my fingers were a guillotine.
It's a trophy. Also, fucking hate ticks.
It's a trophy that you eat it to gain its power.
I would just take the tick and just eat it.
There's
just
some
like
really cool.
I too enjoy flicking them in the toilet and like seeing them drown. Because I actually drowned. It's kind of like it's sadistically satisfying. Where they're like, oh, I can't. And then you're just watching like, you deserve it.
So there's this really cool technology, and by technology I mean like playing God with mosquito DNA and stuff. And there's like they release like these female mosquitoes into the population that are
spliced with
a gene that basically
praying mantis DNA
self-destructs.
Apoptosis.
I don't know how it works, but it basically cut the mosquito population down by 80%.
Did they release it here already?
No, these were tests done in like I think Africa, where malaria is an actual problem.
Spread it everywhere without testing. I don't care. Just do it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just like, do it here. Do it here.
If it leads to the apocalypse, it was for a goddamn good reason.
I will take 20% of mosquitoes.
it's like the I Am Legend post-apocalypse. Like, what? They cured cancer, but they made a new species. But they cured cancer.
Well, and like, while this is like messing with bug DNA.
We're humans. We were.
I do not care.
Yeah.
Do it.
We have been in always God. That's what we are. We created God.
And spraying. If I could get rid of 3 creatures on this planet, it would be 4 creatures. It would be ticks, mosquitoes, horseflies, and deer flies.
Yep.
There's 4. If I could those are the 4 horsemen of my apocalypse.
Yeah.
No, you missed one. Humans.
I mean, I can live with.
I don't know.
Defend that, Sera.
I don't know.
The problem is that you're just left with human Ted Cruz.
God damn.
Ted Cruz, the amalgamation of all 5. He's the Tiamat of all the hatred of humanity. He's mosquito, tick, horsefly, deerfly, and human all in one.
Just a parasite.
His voice is just all of the wings clustering together.
On humanity.
Human parentheses.
Why am I always persecuted?
Because you're a worthless creature. I don't.
I would gladly go to jail for a suspended period if just at an airport saw Ted Cruz and like security wasn't super on him. But Mr. Cruz, big fan, thank you. Just punch him in the face. And then I'll just be like, yep, hey, I punched Ted Cruz. You don't have to thank me, but I have to go to jail now. Totally willing.
I have to say,
cops, you want to tease me? I don't deserve it, but
do not actually condone violence. Don't actually.
No. Fucking punch politicians in the face.
No.
We had duels at the origin of this country, and politics were better because of it.
I disagree, and I think that's wrong. But we'll just have.
No, the whole reason why fucking politics is so gross is they don't actually have a fucking skin in the game. They have nothing at stake. They rose to their position through slimy manipulation and hypocrisy, and now that they're at the level they're at, they are just benefiting from the horrible shit they are doing. Give them fucking skin in the game.
I agree. Like, the concept of, like, a duel, which is just really messed up.
I'm fucking for it. Just not guns. Give them, like, butter knives. Make it fucking brutal.
Spoon duel.
Rusty wooden spoons.
Just wooden spoons.
Oh my god. Rusty wooden spoons.
So, my favorite... My second favorite Lincoln story, really, is when someone challenged them to a duel. And then if you challenge somebody back in the 19th century, the person could do the place and weapons, right? Like, and so someone challenged Lincoln, so Lincoln said in the center of the lake with axes. And Lincoln was a tall guy, and the guy was not. So he would have won. And so the guy had to retract his duel and get the shame involved in it. Which I'm like, good on you, Lincoln. Yeah. But also, like...
Also, Lincoln was like your height.
Lincoln was a tall man.
No, he was like 6'1". He was not that tall.
He's like my brother's height.
Yeah, he's tall, relatively average for like American standards.
Yeah, but back then, I mean, people
were
like
have you ever been to like those old people tiny museums?
Yeah.
And you see the people with the like legitimate clothing of the old. They're so tiny.
They're really tiny.
We're all giants 150 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, we would be giants.
I mean, I'd be landed aristocracy, basically.
Right now, I'm average. I would be like man tall.
Yeah.
In back in the 40s.
18th, 19th century.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be a playboy.
I would
get all the milkmaids.
I mean, let's not go too far. But
there was a picture of like
mildly educated, very opinionated, loud. I haven't made in the 1800s.
I mean,
I wouldn't have died in the railroads, but good for you, Micah.
I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, sorry, Phil. Not all of us can be successful in a racist country like America.
Let's not discount the fact that women were property still considered back then. So I mean. But
we can take in solace, you'd still be a Spencer.
And if like it's basically like you're a failure as a woman if you don't like have a child and are married by like I don't know.
But you 17. Would be a prolific artist in the 1800s.
Okay, I actually have this theory that why education was way better back in like the day, at least compared to our contemporaries in the country, is because
16.
Women couldn't really enter any professions that weren't nurses or teaching. So like spinsters or people who didn't have any plans of getting married.
Yeah, they're fucked.
Well, no,
they're
women
fucked.
Did manufacturing.
Well, no, I mean,
I would be burned at the stake. I would be burned at the stake because I'm a bitch. And because I have black
but
also I'm a witch.
Also I'm a witch.
But you would have come from, if we're assuming like our childhoods would have been the equivalent of our class back then, you would come from a pretty gentrified family.
Yeah.
You'd be fine. You just wouldn't be in high society.
I don't know.
You'd be the one going like in a dress but like no corset that is strangling you.
Yeah, but the problem would be.
So you'd just be more comfortable?
No, I would probably be in a marriage of convenience. And I would
with a confirmed bachelor?
Well, no, I mean...
just as cover and like someone you got along with.
Well, that's assuming I had a choice. I wouldn't have a choice. Back then, I would probably just have to fucking bite the bullet and close my eyes and think of England. That's probably what... So
you're thinking of England in 1850s America?
Well, that's the euphemism. Micah.
And yes, people did think about England in 1850s America. The other alternative is, hey, have fun at the war, boys.
Yeah.
In 1850s, what war?
Every war. There's always a war going on. Every 10 years there's a war.
You do it.
England was very peaceful because they were at war with themselves by a class because of industrialization.
Okay, first of all, England was not very peaceful because they're always at war with themselves. and with others.
No, if I could afford to be a spinster back then, I would. But chances, like,
You probably would have been.
No, realistically, I probably couldn't have been.
No.
Realistically, it would have been. I would have to just.
Well, you know what we have to do? We have to combine our minds. History major,
time machine,
artist, and engineer. We have to make a time machine that is functional.
Okay, well, Phil, you're on the. Yeah, I'll do the design.
Exactly.
Right?
Functional looks pretty.
Yeah, I'll do the looks pretty.
Look, I just need a rod of infinite length. All right. I'll talk about the details later.
Okay.
Hold on, let me check my closet.
All right. Does anyone have a rod of infinite length? Okay.
I wish. God damn it.
Come on.
So in the Navy, all right.
Were we done? Are we done?
We're done here. We're done.
What even was this topic?
The topic was hypocrisy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not sorry, Mom.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, thanks, Mom.
Sorry, Mom, I wasn't able to defend the Catholics better, but they had some pretty good points.
No, they didn't.
No, you guys had good points.
Oh, we did.
No, the Catholics, no, did not. No.
They
No, there's no.